Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Our next writer is named Marc Frazier. He's been widely published in journals including the Spoon River Poetry Review, ACM, Slant, Plain Songs, Poet Lore, Eclipse, the Broom Review, and Permafrost. He is the recipient of an Illinois Arts Council Award for Poetry. His first book, The Way Here, is available at Amazon Books, and is it also available on that table over there? And that table over there. And his second book is forthcoming from Glass Lyre Press. For more about Marc, visit his website, marcfrazier.org. Marc, please come on up.
Yeah, I'd like to start out with a couple poems from my first book called The Way Here. And it's divided into two sections, land and water. And I'll just read a short poem from the land section, the first section. And it's called October in a Farmhouse. Hues of orange splinter at your feet. The wheat has been sown, the wheat has been reaped. I have tethered myself to you, a golden sheaf. Your eyes mount me like a monarch, pin me to decision. I feel this tugging to be rooted, a tremor in my skeleton, scraping on my spine, an ebbing and a flowing, heavy grapes upon a vine. And then from the water section, I'd like to read the first poem and one other one. But the first poem is really about the importance of water, and it's called Sjogren's syndrome. It's an autoimmune disorder. My older sister has it. And your glands, your tear duct glands, your salivary glands dry up, and you have to constantly replace your tears and your saliva, among other things, but that's part of the syndrome. Sjogren's syndrome. Anything begins with water, the mouth of the Euphrates, villages, city-states, empires, all our ideas gathered, passed down, one place, another, now and later, and stays alive as well, cell, tributary, heart. The body, a creek bed thirsty for a few drops to roll eyeballs around in, to swallow so naturally, air is gourmet. Surface leaves, twigs, plants dried up like the privates. Their ache for this element, the need not to always reach deeper. And then this water poem is really I call my Florida poems. I have a whole series. They're not really Florida poems, but this is kind of a journey. It's a long poem, so you need to come on the journey with me. It's a good close your eyes poem with really just a lot of observations about the world. And it's called Anomalies, and it has an epigraph by Galway Cannell. For everything flowers from within of self-blessing, though sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness. In the endless mall of Florida, a French patisserie run by French people. Birds flit for crumbs. Sherbet umbrellas beckon town cars of the aged to dock nearby. Scents of hibiscus, sunset-hued blossoms of tropical vines blend with that of yeast, humid asphalt, and Estee Lauder. There was no one left to love. Sometimes the evidence is overwhelming. Sometimes I wish a gull will miss landing on its piling. The real truth is that nothing mitigates. Lonely birds call through a pink dusk. If I could name the flora and fauna, I could cope with uncertainty. I could walk outside to a gator in the pool. Surprising things happen. A double murderer was just arrested in Chicago, where he'd lived as a poet for 20 years. I have to write so many words just to survive. How many will it take to endure, to be happy? The many places I've been make me like every place less. I love the romantic excess of Spanish explorers, cities of gold, fountain of youth. Here the old grow younger or think they do. Who am I to shadow conquerors? Sometimes a clean, well-lighted place is fine. Sometimes nothing is enough. Always that restlessness in the stalls, the need to be touched, the need to be reminded of my loveliness, as if I am one of the few who are chosen. Carlos Fuentes described Frida Kahlo with her jangling jewelry and intensity as her own opera. At times I am so tame, I wonder if even the trained can prepare me for a return to the wild. At times the Leo in me sees the world as collateral. A woman in a poem hopes in the growth of 24 seeds. The man thinks she expects too much to grow her a whole new life. What can I expect here beside the ocean? I do not ponder the damage done. A cul-de-sac of regret, loss. Not everything happens for a reason. I hear orchids grow in wet seclusion. Stones are silent by choice. Water builds only to lose itself. Blue calms my tendency to wander, to see other sides. Life, like anything, is a habit, can be found almost anywhere, can happen to anyone. And then for my last poem, it's from a chapbook that came out this past year, well, 2013, The Gods of the Grand Resort, and it's full of a lot of myth and personal myth, the Bible. This is a very Christian poem, and I don't think of myself as a Christian anymore, but it's something about faith that stays with you. I actually went and looked at the Baltimore Catechism again. It's online, like everything else. And the two section heading titles are from the Baltimore Catechism, but the poem is very much about faith. It's called From the Other Side. 1, Christian Doctrine. Ourselves recognizable one from another, we uttered prayers of the faithful. We were faithful then, our souls clinging to the language of for now. All of it would end. Certainty stood a light in the darkness. Summer delaying the death of so many living things, like us. Pause between intention and act, inspiration and regret. Then it would be about our bodies wasting, like diseased trees no one could save. The trees, our bodies, must die. Our souls would decide everything. Was any of it about the living, really? It was about bridging two worlds, how to get from one to the other. We must put on new clothes, mustn't we? Wear a new self devoid of the physical. In what form? It was something we could not know then, like so many things. Everything touched by trust, its language of so shall it be. How tentative our earthly bodies, how fragile. If they broke, we cried, didn't we? 2, God, his perfections. Now we understand. Do not love the world or the things that are in the world. No need for the armor of God against temptation. All things are now possible. His grace proven sufficient. Not long ago we saw darkly, our feet dashed against stones. Now the way is clear. Still we test our limits. What if man is left in spirit? How far did the hand of God extend? How did we live as fully as we did? Why did God make us? We could not know then what things God has prepared for those who serve him. Thank you.